Today I want to talk about a question that I get often from people, and that is, how do I get into the Airbnb business if I don't have any experience or I don't have any money? This is a great way to get into the business and get your hands-on experience by actually doing it. What I'm talking about today is getting into the Airbnb rental space by doing Airbnb property management. I think this is a very easy way to get into the business and learn everything with boots on the ground and get your feet wet and get your hands dirty and actually learn the business, which is invaluable in terms of your long-term career in this space. So I'm going to go over why I think this is a great opportunity for somebody and an easy way to get into it. And then we're going to go over how you actually find these properties that you could be doing Airbnb property management for. Now, this is even if you don't have any experience, or it could be you do have experience and you want to get more experience than you already have. Make sure to watch this entire video because we're going to go into actually searching for these properties that I would target if I was trying to expand my Airbnb property management. So obviously there are different options and ways, like I said, that you can get into Airbnb. Now this would be the traditional way where you have capital and you purchase a property, or you do Airbnb rental arbitrage, as I've mentioned. But again, what we're talking about here is getting into the Airbnb space by doing Airbnb property management. I think this is the easiest way to get into the business. You can start earning income and you can get the experience necessary. And the best part about this is you're actually doing it with no risk because you don't actually have to put any capital forward by doing that. You just have to put in a little bit of your time and effort and obviously to understand the business, but that is all. So that's why I view management as a low risk entrant into the Airbnb space. I'm a big proponent of minimizing your risk when you're making an investment or you're even trying to do something new. I'm all about risk taking when it warrants it, but if you can get a risk-free opportunity to learn something, that is a great way to do it, and you're going to earn income in the process. Now, this also may be a way that people want to just get into the space, or this could actually be your entire career in the Airbnb space. There's a lot of money to be made by doing this. That is for sure. There's a ton of Airbnbs out on the market, and a lot of those are not optimized and operating at maximum efficiency, and that is where you're going to step in and fill that void for them. So now, how do you find these properties? That is a question that people want to know, is where do you find these properties and how do you approach the owners? And one way you can do it is you can look for vacant rentals using ZillowApartments.com. So this is properties that are actually being rented. They're being advertised for long-term rent, but they're not currently being rented. So you got to think, in that case, the owner is getting zero income on that property and it's just burning a hole in their pocket. So that would be one place to start, would be to approach those property listings and offer them the prospect of making money immediately by doing Airbnb and you operating it for them because you're the expert. You're going to make yourself the expert, but they're not going to know that initially. And if you do something like that, you have an opportunity to actually partner up with them if you choose to go that route. And you should be able to make more money than you would ordinarily by doing property management. You see, in property management, you're going to be making between 15 and 25% of the gross revenue. But if you were to propose to one of these vacant properties a profit split, because they're not even thinking about Airbnb currently, you're going to go to them and present this great opportunity where they can make income instantly instead of sitting on a vacant property that they have right now. And then in that case, you can maybe ask them for 25 to 30% of the gross rental revenue. And then you're also going to help them with the entire process, because you got to think that they don't know what they're doing at all. So you're going to help them with the design aspect and setting it up and that sort of thing. But now the fastest way to get into this Airbnb property management is not by looking for vacant rentals that were not already listed on Airbnb. The fastest way to do this, which I think you will get results pretty quickly if you actually apply yourself, and that is looking for struggling Airbnbs that are not operating at maximum efficiency. That is going to be low-hanging fruit of people that you know already know something about Airbnb. They're familiar with the space, but they're not doing it very well, is the honest truth. And if they're not doing it well, that means they're not earning their maximum income on the property either. And so when you find these properties, you're going to look for things such as poor photos of the properties. You're going to look for people that are not using dynamic pricing, meaning they're just using one price per night, basically every day of the week, or maybe just having an adjustment on the weekends versus the weekdays. But that is a very old school way of doing it, and that is not operating at maximum efficiency. And then you're also going to look for things such as bad reviews, people that have mediocre reviews, that sort of thing. these are all signs that this listing is not going to be operating at a very high level. So that leaves an opportunity for you to step in and elevate this listing and get them more income and give yourself a management fee as well. And so basically the process is going to be, when you identify these properties, which we're going to get into in a minute, you're going to send these properties the canned message that you're going to use. And you're going to use, essentially, you're going to identify one thing that you have found that is not operating well on the property, whether it's the pricing, the photos, the reviews, whatever that may be. You're going to basically send a canned message, and I'm going to give you guys the message here shortly. You're going to send that message to everybody and say, you've noticed that this listing is not operating at its maximum efficiency, and you have an opportunity where you can step in and you can help them out. And that's a message then that you can send in mass, so you don't have to spend a lot of time crafting that message. You're going to basically send a template, and you're going to alternate it with either pricing, reviews, or photographs. And so you're going to alternate that, and then you're going to send a canned response so that you can send that out to a lot of different listings at once. And then once you send those messages, as you get replies, you're basically going to be asking them for a free 15-minute consultation where you're able to go into their listing and you're able to tell them things that they can do to improve their listing. Now, this is how you're going to get warm leads out of it. And then when you get somebody that replies and says, yes, I'm interested in that, at that point in time, you're going to have to put in research, and you're going to have to become the market expert on that property. So you're going to become the market expert on the immediate area so that you understand what's going on in the areas, because obviously if you're going to become an expert on the property, you have to know the area as well. And you're also going to look very closely at their property specifically, and then compare it to other properties and get an idea as to what you think it could rent for, things they could do to optimize the listing. And how you do that is you're going to look for other listings that are optimized. So you're going to look for excellent listings that have great photos, seem to be rented a lot, have good listing copy, all those sort of things. Those are going to be your best-in-class examples that you're going to use, and you're going to basically present that pitch then to these struggling listings and tell them, this is what I would do to improve your listing. We're going to do X, Y, Z. And so obviously, in order for you to be able to tell them that, you have to become the expert on that property, and that's what you're going to do. So you're going to have to put a little bit of sweat equity into that, but nothing comes for free. So you're going to become a little bit of an expert, and then you're going to be ready when you have that 15-minute phone call, and you can pitch them on all these different things that you have learned about the property and what you can do to optimize it. And then you're going to put yourself in an invaluable position to where they feel the need that they have to hire you. So now let's dive into exactly how we're going to find these properties online, and I'm going to show you guys how I would do it. Okay guys, so here we're going to start with, we're just going to basically start, we're going to go on Airbnb and we're going to pretend that we are a traveler in the area that we're looking for. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to type in Silver Lake. This is a part of Los Angeles that is quite popular with Airbnbs. So I'm going to use that as a starting point. Here I'm just going to put flexible dates. I'll just put a weekend. The date doesn't matter. I'm going to do search. Then I am going to put a filter here. I would rather just do entire place. I don't want these shared homes. And I'm just going to put houses. Most of it should be. Just narrow it down a little. And then we're going to search. So here, over 1,000 homes in Silver Lake, Los Angeles. Okay, great. So as you can see here, the first properties that are coming up, you can see pretty high reviews, 5.0, 4.94, 4.87. These are all super hosts. So Airbnb and their algorithm, they're obviously highlighting these properties because they're good. They're not going to put poor performing properties at the front. So the first little hack that we're going to do here is we're going to scroll down and we're going to start looking at this from the back moving forward. So I'm going to go to page 15, and now I'm going to see what they have here. And so now you instantly see, okay, these photos, who's doing this? They're putting a photo of their gate going to the driveway. It's horrible. And you see they have 4.75 stars, 28 reviews. So for example, that is a starting point. This is a poor performing listing that is probably underpriced. And yeah, I'm just looking at it. It looks a little bit tired, etc. So I'm going to zoom in a little. And again, so that is that at first glance, that pops up. So now this is interesting here. It looks now there's 542 reviews on this. I don't know. It might be a split listing. They might have 2 units in it or something like that. But let's move on and look for something else. Okay, so here we have this home in Los Feliz, 4.78 stars with 201 reviews. This looks like it could be doing much better. They obviously have some experience on this because they have 201 reviews, and it looks like this host, so she is probably the owner running it. So because if you have a property management company running it, they're going to be less inclined to listen to your services to do exactly what they're doing. But here, Mandy, she only has 201 reviews, and this listing has 201 reviews, which tells me that she doesn't have any other properties. So she is likely an owner-operator. And so let's take a look here at the photos. So the photos are okay. It's not terrible. You know, she obviously got some bookings. She's gotten quite a bit of bookings because of this. But this is an example. Like, this photo isn't great. They could have done a lot of things better here. They could have put I would put a colored tablecloth there, set up that table, make it look more inviting. Everything just looks a bit drab in that photo to me. And people are going to come to Los Angeles for the outdoor space. So they're not really doing a good job of highlighting the best parts of this property. So again, you're just kind of doing quick and dirty. You don't need to spend a lot of time on it right now because you're just going to you want to identify properties that are low-hanging fruit, that have things that could be optimized. So this would be an example of one. You could send her a message. Now, what I would probably do is star these and save them as favorites and then put them into a certain folder so you have them all in one place. So let's continue looking here and see what else jumps out at us. This one jumps out at me. This one has, again, a pretty dark looking photo, doesn't look very inviting. 4.74 stars, 87 reviews. Let's look at the profile here of who this person is. Okay, I live upstairs. Okay, so this is confirmed. She lives upstairs, and so she's an owner-operator. So she may be somebody that would be interested in getting more revenue from it. So this is somebody I would look at. She's obviously not doing a great job. You know, she has 87 reviews and 4.74 is not good. That is almost a failing score in the Airbnb sphere. Yeah, I mean, these photos don't look very good. You know, they look okay. I mean, this bedroom, God, I don't know if it gets any more boring than this. Just plain white. You know, the beds look tightly made. That's the only positive. But overall, that room could use some color. The pillows could use some color. I would throw blankets on there. I mean, there's just a million things you can do to that. I'm not going to dive into all the details in terms of how I would optimize this listing for the sake of the length of this video, but I'm just looking here. Again, I mean, I would just eliminate this photo. I get it. She's trying to highlight the parking, but all this dirt, this just doesn't look very inviting. Okay, so that is another example of another property that I would target. You know, and again, so for instance, for that last one, I'm just going to skim through these a little bit, again, for the sake of time, but I want to show you guys the kinds of things that I'm looking for. So here I'm looking at the reviews. These all have good reviews for the most part. Here, let's see this, 4.88 stars. Yeah, I mean, this one here, I can already see right here, the photo, it just looks cluttered, too much stuff. Let's dive into this one a little bit further and see if this would be a target. Hosted by Domatet, however you pronounce that name, who joined in October 2011. Okay, so he's a French-American interior designer. Interesting. An interior designer, has 109 reviews, which I think is the same amount that this listing has. It is. Now, this property could use some love. It's actually not bad. You know, it looks okay. I can see this guy does have some taste, but maybe he's just doing a bad job hosting. You know, the space doesn't look very bad. I think the photos could be a little bit better, but he says he's an interior designer. I don't think it's amazing work, but it looks okay. He is probably having some operational issues. That's probably why his reviews are poor, or the listing isn't matching the photos. So maybe these photos were in the very beginning, but then he's let it get a bit run down. So there is an opportunity there to improve his operational efficiency. And so that is another one. I would just hit save on that and put that on the list. And you could save them actually by, it would probably make it faster. You could save them by what it is that you see on their operational inefficiencies. So whether it's photos or whether it's you see something else like here, you think that maybe he just maybe doing something on an operational standpoint that's not up to par. So you would you would save those in their respective categories. So then you can use the same template to send to all of those ones. So let's look here at this guy's pricing. I'm curious. So it says $375 a night. Here we are. We're looking at March. Let's just look out here in April. Let's see, from a Monday to Thursday. So he's at $375. Okay. So this guy's probably not doing, let's see, April 27th. Let's do a Thursday to Monday. He's doing $375 a night. So right here, this guy is not using dynamic pricing at all. So that is another opportunity where he is definitely leaving money on the table. This guy could definitely use professional management, and even he's probably a busy guy. And this would, even if it's not professional management, even if you're a beginner, you can make yourself a professional and you can provide value to this guy by optimizing the pricing and being perhaps more attentive in terms of his hosting ability, in terms of replying to guests, etc. All right, so this is another one. Let's get out of that. I'll save that there. Let's keep looking and look for other examples. Oh, here we go. Okay, this one looks tired to me, but they have good reviews, so I'm just going to skip over it because, again, there is lower hanging fruit that we can go after here. Home, serene, bright room. Okay, we didn't want a bright room. I thought we had filtered this by, we're back to page 2. So Airbnb jumped us. Okay, we're at the front of the list. So let's go to the back of the list, like I mentioned, see what's in here. Okay, so we're scrolling through. Here's this one. Home, this weird crooked photo. I get it. They're trying to show off the waterfall. But let's see what's going on with this one. Hosted by Anna. They have 8 reviews, 4.63. Anna has 23 reviews. So maybe she has another property. We could actually look at that and see Anna's listing. Okay, so she has 2 properties. She's probably not a property manager. She has 2 properties, which isn't a whole lot. And she only has 23 reviews. Maybe she's trying to get into the same space that you are. But again, you're just scratching the surface here. You don't need to spend a lot of time on these initially for you to go for your outreach, because you're going to send the same message to all of these. So here, these photos, again, photos look dark, not a lot of color, not a lot of pop. This listing could definitely be optimized from a photo perspective. And let's look at her pricing. So $461 a night. She probably has some sort of smart pricing, dynamic pricing on there. So if we go April 10th to the 13th, it's $457. That is, let's see if we do that weekend. Okay, so yeah, so she has some, at least for weekend pricing. Let's go out to, she has the calendar blocked. So this may be a part-time, because the calendar is blocked just a couple months out. She may be only renting this part-time or not wanting to take guests far in advance, one or the other. So again, that's an opportunity to go after it. It may be a dead end. Every no that you get, you're going to be one step closer to yes. So here's another one, close to SoFi Stadium, 4.78 stars, not very good. Hosted by Adam. Adam is a super host, apparently. Nothing looks super about this to me. So 23 reviews. Let's see. He has 23 reviews. And he's a super host. Well, they're giving that thing out like candy, right? So here, his primary photo is this. This doesn't look very inviting. Again, he took this picture at night. It looks like, either that or the curtains are completely drawn, but this is a nighttime photo. This does not look inviting. Paint is horrible. So there's things he can do. If he's actually trying to make money on this things, there are things that he can do to make this listing a lot better. So let's get out of the photos and let's look at the pricing. So if we go March 14th to 17th, he's at $199 a night. And then if we go let's go Thursday to Sunday. All right, he's at $229. So he has some sort of a little bit of dynamic pricing, but I wouldn't even call it dynamic. It seems like it's kind of round numbers. Let's see if we go out to, $249. Okay. So this is another example one. You can reach out to this guy and send him the boilerplate message. So here, I'm going to show you guys the message here. Okay, so here's a template that I just quickly put together here that I think you guys can use. So it basically says, hi XYZ, hi, whatever their name is. I noticed you're listing on Airbnb and I like what I see from it, but I must say you are leaving a lot of money on the table and I think I can help you. Let me show you how. And then here you're going to use, these different things depending on the situation. So your pricing is not being optimized because during X, you are priced at Y and you should be marking up your listing to capture, X travelers, so blank travelers. You could say your pricing is not optimized because during spring break, you are priced at $199 a night and you should be marking up your listing to at least $249 a night or whatever number that is to capture these spring break travelers and get the most revenue. And then here you're going to say here at the bottom, here you have an alternate one you can use for the photos. And I'm going to put this in the description here. I'm going to put a link to this so you guys have this. Are you available for a free 15-minute consultation on your listing? And I can show you how to make a lot more money than you are currently making. And that is basically what you're going to send. You're going to send that en masse to a lot of these different properties. And then you're going to actually follow up on these. You're going to have these saved. And you're going to continue to follow up on these listings and continue to send the same message or variations of this message, and you are definitely going to get leads from it. And then when these people are ready to talk to you and they say, yeah, I'm willing to do a 15-minute phone call, Airbnb is going to probably block your phone number, so you're going to have to type out your phone number because they do block it out unless you have a confirmed booking. You're going to, type it out and basically encrypt it so that he can contact you or ask him to pass you their phone number the same way. And then once you're scheduled for that 15-minute call, then you're going to do the actual diving in really of that property and spend a little bit more time on it to really understand his or her market and understand that property and what you could do to optimize it. So now that we dove in and we actually looked for these properties and you understand how you can find these struggling listings, this is, again, a great way to get into the Airbnb space without needing any money or any capital or really any experience, because you're going to become the expert on these properties specifically as you locate them. I think this is a great opportunity for beginners and also for people that want to expand their portfolio. Let's say you own one property, but you don't have the capital to buy multiple properties. You can increase your revenue by entering the property management space and then getting other properties that way that you don't need capital to start with. So thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. All you guys, if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. And then also make sure to check out the website, airbnbrentalemempire.com, where we have a lot of information there. I have a lot of stuff for you guys in terms of free content as well as paid content that you guys can use to advance your Airbnb rental empire further along.